Hey, what's up? It's Julian. We are reviewing my recent run in Sunday's Legacy Challenge. I didn't stream or record it, but after my successful finish, a couple of people have asked me to go over the matches just to see how they played out, maybe also get an idea of how I sideboarded, and yeah, so we're jumping right into this. We are on the draw with a pretty bad hand. I think our converted, the average converted mana cost of this hand is probably the highest you will ever get in Legacy. Unless you're playing something like Emerald Cool, I guess, so we definitely have to shuffle this. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? This hand I'm also not super thrilled about, but being on the draw, it's better because you get to fetch Dryad Arbor on the first turn, and then hopefully, like, you've got two draws to find an elf, and then maybe keep going with Glimpse, and then on the third turn you can natural order the opponent. So at least this hand has a plan, so that's why I'm keeping it. At least that's why I assume I kept it. You can't really see what I scried to the top or the bottom, I also don't remember. Oh, you can, okay, so I think I'm gonna keep this on top. And the opponent starts off, and he might get to 5, I just realized. So I didn't even catch that in the game, or maybe I did, but I forgot about it. Fetches Volcanic Island. Volcanic Island to Preordain makes me feel like it's probably some kind of combo deck. Like, sometimes if they are really greedy, they're playing it in some kind of Young Pyromancer deck, but overall this very much feels like some kind of combo deck. We are getting Dryad Arbor here. I'm still getting Forest because there's a chance, you know, that I'd rather have the basic land. And the black I don't really need until quite late into the game. Also with him fetching Volcanic Island, or even having Volcanic Island here, I wouldn't think it's Storm, so if it was Storm I would need the black, but this hand really has no plan of needing the black, so I'd rather like not be screwed, and the off chance that he does something to my land, and that would be bad for me. So yeah, we are going to Glimpse here, or at least we are trying to do that. It resolves, and yeah, gonna play the Birchland Ranger, the Aquarian Ranger, and do I play the Reclamation Sage? No, I don't have the mana for it. So unfortunately you have to pass here, but since the opponent might get to 5, he goes end of turn Brainstorm to fetch land, and if he can't find anything this turn, then we're in great shape, especially since he let the Glimpse resolve the previous turn, so I would think that he doesn't have a hard counter. He could have, of course, found it off the Brainstorm and the draw step, so you saw like 4 fresh cards. You're playing the Dryad Arbor and sacrificing it to the natural order. He has the Spell Pierce, if I remember correctly, yeah. Repay and still attack for exactly 19. At least that's... Oh no, we can even attack for more because you can use the Aquarian Ranger. So yeah, he's dead. We get the Behemoth and just finish him. So, that's the first game. Now we jump into the second game. For the second game, let me check how I sideboarded. It's pretty straightforward. You bring in the 5 discard spells and the 2 surgical extractions, and you take out like all the late game stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. So I took out the Green Sun Zenith because there's not really anything I wanna Zenith for, except for maybe Dryad Arbor on the first turn. So I'd rather have all the elves to make my Glimpse turns more explosive in the early games, because that's a great, like you just saw, that's a great way to win. Like if you go for the kill super quickly and the opponent struggles, that's pretty much what your game plan is in that matchup, because anything that involves show and tell, especially sneak show, is your worst matchup in all of Legacy by far. Of all the decks that, like, of the top, I don't know, 20 decks in Legacy, nothing comes close to how bad Sneak Show is for Elves as a matchup. Not only do they have, like, kills that are very hard to interact with, even, like, post-board when you have discard, like, they're not that's like, it's not a big problem for them, for discard. So you're in trouble. Also, they have stuff like Pyroclasm and Kozilek's Return to the sideboard, which they have easy access to. So, yeah, I hate the matchup. And so the thing that you do is, if the matchup is really bad, and you also have little ways to actually fix it, you don't go and try to do something super crazy if your deck has a super straightforward plan. And Elf's plan is to be straightforward and just go for the throat and kill them. If your deck wasn't capable of that, you would probably have to hope for something more crazy, like, I don't know, getting them with choke in a deck that can't kill quickly and doesn't have a combo. But fortunately for us, we can kill quickly. So, would you keep this hand? Well, I guess I'm not streaming, so I wouldn't even get a response from chat. I've been known to keep almost any hand in Elves, so I definitely keep this hand, primarily because it has a plan. Like, the plan of this hand is to hopefully kill on the third turn while the opponent struggles. You know, I mentioned how the opponent has to struggle for us to win. And even though, like, I could mulligan and try to find one of my 5 discard spells, but is that even good? Where does that get me? Like, yeah, if I could, like, trade 2 of these lands for Thoughtseize, that'd be great. But it's super unlikely to get a hand that's much better than this when you mulligan. Like, you probably get a hand that's just slightly worse than this. Like, I just don't want to mulligan here, so I keep this because it has a plan. And I can maybe punish an opponent who's struggling on turn 3. But not any sooner, really. Deathlite Chain is a great draw because it accelerates me, but I think I might even consider just getting Dryad Arbor here, but no, okay. So yeah, I'm trying to find just more elves. And with a hand like this, I could even, like, now that I have the first turn acceleration, which is so huge, like, it's so huge in elves, that's also why I always keep trying to get some number of Lano elves into the deck, but it's so hard to accomplish. Having gotten the first turn acceleration, I could even try for a turn 2 kill, because Gaia's first turn acceleration, Cradle, Glimpse, and Quirion Ranger, they make for, like, not your best, but one of your best setups to get a turn 2 kill. So, opponent does this, which is a bit weird, I guess. Oh no, he already goes. Does he go for the kill here? Yeah. Okay. So nothing to see here, move along. We bring in Dryad Arbor, I would guess. Yeah. Bring in Dryad Arbor. Hoping that he just puts in like a naked Emrakul and passes the turn, but he doesn't. He just attacks us, annihilates the entire board. As far as I remember, I think I draw Cable Therapy here. Oh, that was the other game. Okay, so I don't draw Cable Therapy. I just pass the turn and hope he's got nothing, so I can fetch Dryad Arbor and then probably not do anything on my turn, but maybe set up a natural order kill the turn after. But the opponent, he also has the red source and kills us with, yeah, Grizzlebrand. So that's the second game. That's pretty much a lot like these games sometimes go. You try to do something, but they do it first, and then you're screwed. Being on the play now, what am I gonna keep? Let's check this. Yeah, the hand doesn't have black yet, and unless the opponent finds a fetch land or we draw a fetch land, we still don't have black yet. But overall, the hand once again is reasonable. We have to connect with the Cable Therapy as soon as possible, because our glimpses aren't very good, because the mana isn't as strong as you would wish for. But on the other hand, we have a lot of great top decks, like if you draw Heritage to it, or even Birchal Ranger, that would be great. Cradle could also help, and so do fetch lands. So, given that we can draw a lot of cards, and mulligan elves is something you should avoid as hard as you can. If you've been watching a couple of my videos, you've heard this before, probably. I will keep this hand. Opponent, unfortunately, doesn't have a fetch land. Plays Lotus Petal on the first turn. Back then, I wasn't really sure why he was doing that, because I could technically, like, Reclamation Sage if I drew it off a fetch land or something. But, yeah. So we draw Cradle, which makes the mana much better. And I just play the Dryad Arbor and pass the turn, hoping to set up a lethal lethal glimpse on next turn. I get in for 1 point of damage. It's probably not gonna matter. But it's free. Okay, so first glimpse, second glimpse, and we are off to the races. Would have helped a lot if the opponent had cracked the fetch land, because then we could have played the Quirion Range of the Deathlite Shaman, which then would have been able to untap the Dryad Arbor to play the Nettle Sentinel, netting us 2 more mana of the Gaia's Cradle. But what can you do? So at this point we're hoping to draw Birchal Ranger or Nettle Sentinel. We haven't drawn them yet, but we still got a couple of draws to find them. Still nothing. At this point, I'm almost like, oh, I think I'd rather even just like find Birchal Rangers to get the Cable Therapy to work, but yeah, can't find it. Have to pass the turn. I'm in a great shape next turn, but something tells me it's a pretty dicey spot here, because the opponent, he didn't do anything on the first or the second turn. He didn't play cantrips. So if the opponent doesn't play cantrips and just plays lands, why did he keep the hand? Probably because, like, why did he keep 7 in a deck that can easily mulligan to 6 and still kill you on the second turn? Probably because the hand is good. If I had found the Black Source here, I would have probably named Show and Tell, and that would have been good, I guess, but yeah. Just saying. Like, you always have to try to read your opponent and wonder why they kept a certain hand. So the opponent end of turn, he goes for Impulse, lacking the artwork. I'm sorry. He finds something, puts the cards in the bottom of his library. And then I'm praying that he just goes for cantrips galore and pass, but he's not. Spoiler alert. He goes for the sneak attack, and there's one more interesting decision coming up for us in this game. But it's not until now. So he gets Emrakul. There's the Emrakul. Emrakul attacks us. I think I Death Shaman him for 2 and save the Dryad Arbor. But then I lose my entire board. Pass. Okay. So at this point, we have to survive. And the Death Shaman doesn't really get us anywhere. Like, even if I get the Death Shaman out, the Glimpse is probably not going to do much next turn. And I think the best value you can get here is to Cabal Therapy at the opponent. And which creature would you name? Or, I guess it's pretty obvious that you want to name a creature. You definitely name Grizzlebrand, and you definitely name Emrakul here, even though he just had an Emrakul, and that means it's less likely for him to have another one, it's more likely for him to have a Grizzlebrand. It wouldn't really make sense for him to play Emrakul off Show and Tell last turn if he has like a decent number of Lotus Petals left in the deck, because if he had Grizzlebrand in hand, he would have gotten that into play before the Emrakul, and then probably like drawn a bunch of cards to either find, in the best case scenario, Lotus Petal, or even like 1 or 2 Force of Wills. So I think the card I wanna therapy here is Emrakul. So I play my fetch land, grab a Bayou, play Cabal Therapy, and as far as I remember, Magic Online actually crashes every time you cast Cabal Therapy in a replay, so let's see if that works. Yeah. I clicked the play button down here, but... So, okay. Yeah, unexpected errors. So I name... You can't see it here, but I named Emrakul. Unexpected. It was totally expected, dude. I name Emrakul. Unfortunately, I miss. And I don't care much about the Force or the Omniscience or the land, but I do care about the Ponder, because that makes it much more likely for him to find something. Unfortunately, I can't flash back. If I could, I would totally flash back for Ponder here. So, can we go on? Oh, the unexpected keeps expectedly happening. So yeah, basically, at this point, I'm just gonna tell you what's gonna happen. We pass the turn, the opponent plays Ponder and kills us with, I think it was Grizzlebrand. So, nothing to see here, move along. Not a great start into the Legacy challenge. I keep calling it a daily event, my god. It's been a challenge since like almost a year now, but I keep calling it the Legacy daily event. Anyway, so we lose. And my lose animation is playing. Oh, it's even playing? Yeah, great. But I'm not playing the desktop audio. Oh, whatever. You get the idea. Is it here? That's the good one, right? Anyway, yeah. So, this is our loss in the first round, and I'll be back for the next round. See you there.